Hello, today we will take a closer look on the Shanling's recent and fresh model of true wireless in-ear monitors, MTW200. As you can probably guess by the name, they position them between their MTW100 and 300, but I won't probably treat them in this way because it's just interesting model in the $100 range. So price is $100 for the silver mirror-like version, or $90 if I remember right for the version with darker black case. And Shanling definitely tried to do their best to provide modern, up-to-date in-ear monitors with a lot of interesting things, starting with design and good technical dynamic driver, and also nice Qualcomm chipset. They support aptX codec, AAC and SBC, so they will play nicely with all modern smartphones from iOS to Android, and they have nice working range, good connectivity, pretty extended battery lifetime from 5 to 8 hours depending on the codecs used, because with AAC and SBC you'll get more battery life and with aptX less, but at least 5 hours on single charge you'll get. What else? They have a pretty low delay in video and audio. It can be spotted with spatial test, but not more than that. And they have IPX4, if I remember right, splash proof, so you can use them in the gym during the workout. So price I already mentioned, $100, and let's have a closer look. Package is nice, small, traditional for the Shanling, so 10mm aptX, yes, aptX4, and 9 hours single charge. I didn't got 9 hours never, but probably under some circumstances it's reachable. And let's go see inside. Here are earpieces themselves, and underneath you'll get warranty card, short charging cable, and additional set of tips. So basically that minimalistic accessories set that everyone's need. And here they are. So you can see that case is super fancy. It's made of metal, it has mirror-like finish, it gathers fingerprints pretty actively, so in this aspect, of course, it's not for the perfectionist, but they can be easily wiped, and I really like this style, they looks great. Here is USB-C for charging, LED for indicating the remaining charge, and you just open the top part. So I have some associations with, for example, Zippo lighter, and you can pull them out and they will boot up and start working. Earpieces themselves are made of plastic. They have a pretty traditional shape in this aspect. Here is LED indicators on the both sides. They have sensor controls, and thanks to Shanling they decided to use the most logical schema. Maybe it's a bit subjective, but it's in my opinion it's the most proper way, because single taps here change volume, and more advanced taps allows you track navigation, play pause and other stuff. They are comfortable in terms of wearing, small, nice, stays really well in ears, even during some active workout. They use these tips with shorter stems, but in this case I managed to get a proper fit and seal. Sound isolation is slightly above average, and that's good for street usage. Of course, no active noise cancelling or something like that, but passive noise cancelling will be enough for public transport or some noisy street and so on. They hold connection really well, with one exception, traditional for true wireless models. In areas with lot of interference they can have some issues with connectivity, like in shopping malls with a lot of Wi-Fi networks or business centers or something like that. Besides that cases, they hold connection really well, works long, have a nice controls, comfortable, and so on. So, to summarize this part, in terms of build, design and other things, model is done really good. Here is a traditional microphone test, recording this part of the video with Shanling MTW200 in my ears. I won't apply any gain correction or equalization to this part, so it will give you an idea of how their microphones sound. And of course about the sound, I gave them 48 hours of burn-in, sound didn't change and I didn't expect any changes, but you know, I decided to try, just in case. As a player to show examples, I will use Shanling's M6 Pro version 2021, and spoiler, it will be one of my next reviews, of course. And in terms of sound signature, Shanling decided to use that type of tuning they used in some of their previous models. Boosted bass, really deep and impactful and tight, and slightly boosted treble, but not as much as bass, so it's not V-shaped, but close to this one. But in true wireless in-ear monitors it gives, you know, a really good result, because they're sounding engaging, dynamic, lively, and on the streets, in typical scenario for the true wireless models, that boosted low frequencies give a nice result. So, bass is accented, accent is slightly above average, it's not super bass heavy model, but it's definitely a model for those who like elevated low frequencies. It goes to good depths, basically the limit of bass depth here is not earpieces themselves, but a PTX codec. So deeper layers of bass are presented and actually they sound impactful and nice with a good body. Resolution is normal, but of course it's limited also by the aptX codec itself. Resolution is normal, and amount of weight and impact is nice. They are pretty good in representing acoustic instruments too, but they sound a bit exaggerated because of that accent on low frequencies. And with electronic music, with pop genres and other genres like that, they sounding really great. As an example for the low frequencies, I will use Juno Reactor, Tempest. Actually, let me boost brightness to maximum level. So Juno Reactor, Tempest, really good example of electronic music. And in the introduction part they have that really deep rumbling low frequencies that goes from left channel to right and vice versa. It sounds really impressive, and these earphones really deliver it with power and might. Another good example could be for example Massive Attack that I often use in this aspect. Or also I really liked with these earphones some records of the Japanese drummers that I have, that big drums with good resonance and all other stuff. Acoustic instrument sounds also nice, but as I've mentioned before, they are a bit exaggerated in terms of size. Mid frequencies are a bit shifted towards the warmer side with slightly highlighted emotions and a hint of added weight. They have normal resolution, but definitely not the model for those who want to monitoring resolution with focus on the micro details or some tiny nuances. It's done on purpose, probably to make sound a bit more fancy and to hide a little bit issues with lossy compression. So this model is pretty forgiving in terms of quality of records. It sounds okay with lossy codecs of streaming, it sounds okay with lossy codecs of Bluetooth, so in this aspect it's nice. They are emotional with slightly boosted dynamics, with a hint of added weight, and as I've mentioned, normal resolution. Upper mids are slightly accented to give a bit of additional clarity. Male vocals getting a slight hint of additional weight and sounding with a bit of additional presence. But at the same time, it's not going into the monitoring or natural type of sound tuning. And as an example for the mid frequencies, too much, go back. I've got Queen, Radio Gaga. They have a pretty noticeable low frequency part here with bass line and drums. They sounding slightly accented and fun, but at the same time main part and vocal sounds pretty natural and pretty fun, but with a hint of that additional weight that I mentioned before. Imaginary stage is about average both in width and in depth. Partially it's limited by the aptX codec itself, and probably partially it's limited by the warm sound. But still, you know, instruments have a pretty normal size and they have separation, as well as depth layering is also present here. Treble is slightly boosted, but definitely not to that amount where it could be problematic. Maybe for super treble sensitive people it can be too much, but in general it's just slight boost of treble to balance the low frequencies, but not more than that. Extension is average because of once again aptX codec limiting here, unfortunately, so we need more advanced audio codecs, and no, LDAC is not a solution here, unfortunately. Anyway, nice resolution, but not super focused on the details. Typical for dynamic drivers, slightly slow attacks and decays, and at the same time they are okay with saturating track with basic overtones. Don't expect some rich layering or super advanced overtones, no, it's just for the basic tones, but it's balancing low frequencies and doing its job pretty correctly. And example for the treble, it's Snarky Puppy and track named Deep, lot of different percussions, lot of instruments and stuff that goes to the treble area. Of course, this model is not a perfect solution to unveil this potential of this track at 100%, but still it's sounding pretty pleasant and pretty nice. What will be important for many, not fatiguing. Probably that's all about this model. In terms of comparisons, probably it's the most fancy model in this price range in terms of low frequencies. If you like accented bass, it's a model for you. For a bit more focus on the resolution, more extended trebles, there is, for example, Shanling's MTW200 and other things, and this model is, as I've said, stays aside from the Shanling's lineup, created for those who need bassy and fun sound, not leaning towards neutrality, but at the same time I really like its sound because it's engaging and overall it has good design and connection quality and all that good things that I already mentioned in the review. So Shanling managed to create a really fancy model for those who like such signature, and thank you for listening, thank you for your attention, and of course have a nice day.